in, I need to set a time, right? I need to have a time ready and available so when I do come on, people will know when it's coming. And, I was just like, you know what, let me come on, just do some quick stories. But before we get started, please like, share, subscribe. As always, I like to say thank you for watching, thank you for listening. You see the thumbnail right there, right? So those are the couple people we're going to discuss, and might throw one and two in there, but yeah, that's who we're discussing for this quick talk. Now, before we get started, how's everyone doing? There's so much going on in this world. It's frightening, right? With the climate change and just the world is just right now a sad place. Sad place. And we're just gonna get into this. So give me a second. I wanted to look something up before, but come on in. I have one person. Do I know that one person? Like I said, I like doing live because I realize that more views come when you do live. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm gonna start soon. So, gossipers, what are your thoughts on, Harry and Meghan moving back to the UK? You would think with everything that they went through in the UK, Harry suing, different magazines of, being threats to his wife. You would think, but I don't know. I don't know. So, you know what? We're going to start off with the Kim Kardashian and Northwest story. So, if you know, Northwest, the daughter of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, she is releasing music, right? And some people, they just don't like her look, or, that goth look, or just thinking that she's a child. Why is she going through all this, right? Why not just be a kid, enjoy life, things like that? So, virtually. Hold on. So first, we're gonna hear what Megyn Kelly said. She had Dr. Drew on her show. Now, I don't know what political house Dr. Drew is for, but he was with Megyn Kelly. So we're gonna take a listen to what they had to say about Northwest. Every day, so because listen. He has 6 children. Brad Pitt's in the news virtually every day because he has 6 children, and so far, by my count, 4 out of the 6, the latest being his 18-year-old daughter. Oops, wrong person. They're talking about Brad Pitt. Okay, hold on. I need to get to the one with Kim Kardashian and Northwest with Dr. Drew. What we know from Hayden's own. Oh, Lord. This is not a good look. And I had it. I mean, I'm sure you've listened to other content creators and they... Come on, don't do this to me now. Darn it. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and read the article and then we'll could just come back to it. Oh, or I have it right here. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Sorry. We're going to turn up the volume. Okay, and this is from, the video is from TMZ. Okay, take a listen. West have good parents, Kanye, or just Ye now, and Kim Kardashian, because she is on the cover of this British quarterly magazine right now with false teeth, like a grill situation, blue hair, all these facial piercings. Look at this. Well, Drew, she is almost exactly the same age as my Thatcher, who was born in July of 13. She was born in June of 13. So I know this age very, very well. He is a sweet little boy. This girl
I mean, would you look at this? And she's launching an album and she's going to be performing concerts, and they are rushing to try to make her a star without, it doesn't appear, any reflection, especially by the Kardashians, on the significant downside of putting your.
Oh Lord, that ad came on. Hold on. Darn it. You know what? Oops. Let's get rid of that ad. Hold on, gossipers. Okay, so it's
Childhood.
that.
It makes you worry, and she has bipolar in her genetic heritage, right? And she has parents that have not been available, let's say. I don't know. It doesn't look like they're around all the time. I don't know if we're going to get through this time or it's going to get worse. It's back to the guillotines we talked about last hour. They are out. And hey, everybody that puts somebody on the guillotine, realize history is a clear teacher on this. Everybody ends up on the guillotines eventually if you keep bringing them out. Yes.
So yes, gossipers. So you heard that quick clip with Megan Kelly and Dr. Drew. So Dr. Drew mentioned that there's bipolar in the family, and of course, he's talking about Kanye West, right? Kanye West went through his rant with Israel and Jews and black people being anti-Semitic, um, selling T-shirts and White Lives Matter and everything like that. So I'm not quite sure if Dr. Drew basically is saying for this young girl who's 13, the way she's behaving, probably something is there. It's not developed, but judging by what she's going through or what she's doing, something might be there. But then again, her parents are Kim and Kanye, right? She's 13, she's underage. A lot of times when we see Northwest out, we don't see her with either parent. So either she's with a chaperone or something to that effect, a guardian. But I know Kim, she says that she's there, but she's not in sight, right? She wants to give North her, not privacy, but her time to shine, which to me at 13, this kid needs to be enjoying life. We see how many Hollywood kid actors did not have a childhood, and when they do get to that adult stage, they they don't have the love, the compassion of what feeling and love is because of what they went through in the industry, and no one was there for them to say, look, this is a child, you can't have her do this, do that, sexualize this. So just like with the death of Aiden Panettiere a week ago, she came out and basically she was like a dinner for Hollywood. Let's put it that way, a dinner for Hollywood. And her mom was her manager, and she and the mom, they have a very strange relationship. And with the mom, this is her second child she's losing. Aiden's brother, he died, I think, in 2023 from a heart problem. I'm not quite sure if it's an enlarged heart, but yeah, so, even though Kim and Kanye, they know this industry, you don't know everyone who's around your child who wants good for your child. To see her out there and neither parent is with her, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. And like for me, I would say, who are we to judge? Who cares? That's their kid. But when you have kids out there looking up to someone like a Northwest and all these people, and these people are troubled or just trying to stay irrelevant, right? This is social media. Everybody wants their clicks and views. And how do you get that? You get that by being extraordinary, right? Something different out there. People are not expecting. So, when you have those tools, sometimes it can get to where, you know, it's just too much. And for this 13-year-old, she should be in school, doing all this, talking about touring and putting out albums. And again, we don't know what it's like behind closed door, but what they give or sell to the public, it would just look like this is Northwest, doing her own thing. The way she dresses look without anyone saying, this is a bit too much, right? For this 13-year-old. Again, it's their child. Um, they parent out how they parent. We might not agree. We can only hope for the best. And sometimes when I look at Northwest, I'm thinking of Penelope. So that is Courtney's daughter that she has with Scott. And with Penelope, I don't see her on the internet that much. She might have her own little channels or something, but again, because it's Kanye and Kim's daughter, people are dragged more towards her. And because of her look, she does not look like a regular 13-year-old girl, right? And some people might say, oh, this is a trend. Teenagers, they go through this trend of dressing goth, or which is fine. But then she has these piercings. Some are real, some are not real, and it just gives that look of rebellion, right? And again, these kids they have followers, they have people who look up to them, not realizing the people themselves, you can't live the life of a Northwest. You can wish, but you can't live. Like, I was listening to something the other day, and I found out that there's a place in Miami. I'm going to use the word allegedly, where you can like rent a jet for like 10 minutes, and it's like a 500 or $1,000, and you could take pictures, go in it, just to flex, to let it seem like that jet belongs to you, right? So, a lot of these entertainers, they give this lifestyle of, we have all this money, we can fly here private, we can do this, we can do that. But when it comes down to it, when they have to pay their lawyers, their publicists, whomever, they have to pay out their money. When it's done, they walk away with nothing. But back to Northwest, she has two wealthy parents. She'll be fine. It's just that they think she's grown up too fast, and for what? To give attention to what? The public? I know North said when she turns 14, she wants to go work at a Starbucks. I don't see that happening, but hey, if that's what she wants to do, and again, she's 13, she's underage, her parents, they do have a say in how she grows. And like I said, if they're careful, if they're not with her, they trust the people who they have her around to go places with, then again, it's on them. But, just to see her, not, you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave that alone, and I'm gonna roll into her other story. So, sticking with the Kardashian, we're gonna talk about Chloe's friend, right? We usually hear about what's her name? You have Khadijah, and I can't remember the other friend. They're identical twins. Malika, yes, Malika. The twins are both best friends with Khloe Kardashian and the Kardashian, but we don't see much of Khadijah. We see a lot of Malika. Now, she's going through a divorce, right? It's been 2 years, and now she's basically asking the ex-husband, or soon to be ex-husband, to contribute more to her and their three kids. So we're just going to read this quick article. It says Khloe Kardashian's best friend, Khadijah, using loans from friends to pay bills amid divorce. So they're saying she's taking loans from friends. Again, you see these people on the internet, social media, on different reality shows, this and that, flaunting this expensive life, but behind closed door, they don't have no money, right? It says Chloe's close friend, Khadijah, claims she is struggling to make ends meet amid her bitter divorce from her ex-husband, Bobby McCreary. Well, not ex-husband, soon to be ex-husband. And she's relying on her friends for financial help. She's relying on friends for financial help. And you look at situation like these with a couple, they have three kids together, they're so happy, and you're like, when did the loss of love happen for them? Where they no longer love each other. And guess what? The article vanished. The article just disappeared. Let me see if I can get it back. I don't know. Oh Lord. All right, let's put it in. I think I said it was from on TMZ, right? So let me go back to TMZ and see if I see the article. Ain't this something? I might have to just leave it behind and go on to another topic. I can put her. Yeah, you know what? Let me put her name in Khadijah. Now, how do you spell that? I think they spell it Khajai Khadijah Hag or QQ. Hold on, gossipers. It just disappeared. My computer needs a cleaning. Bad, bad. Or I'd say my laptop. Okay, I'm looking. My gosh. Hold on, guys. She came up, Khadijah, divorce. This is not good. If not, I'm going to have to go into a different story and get back to this. So, you know what? We're going to have to go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Found it. Found it. Sorry, guys. So, we're going to continue with the read. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it says TMZ obtained the declaration Khadijah filed as she asked the court to award her child and spousal support. The reality star revealed she was paid $25,000 per episode for the Hulu reality show The Girls, for a total of $150,000, which was produced by Chloe. I didn't hear about that show. Anyways, it says in her filing, Khadijah claims she lived a good life while married to the former NFL player and never worried about bills. She said they often went on family vacations, ate out at restaurants, did not use credit cards, and rented luxury homes. So, what did she think is going to happen? You break up with the person, you think that because you've broken up now, that for some reason you think you're going to be living the same life, if he's the breadwinner, if he was taking in most of the money? No, you're going to have to cut back on stuff. And I think she's doing this because they have the thought of the kids were born into money. This is how they live, and to downgrade, it's like a big step, like, oh my god. And their downgrade is not downgrade like what we would go through if we were going through something. You know what I'm saying? It says Khadijah said she didn't work a ton during the marriage because she was taking care of the kids. She said her ex is rarely in California and he does not have a set schedule to see the kids. And all the kids are under 18. It says Chloe's spouse said she is no longer chill about money. She is stressed about bills and is using credit cards to pay bills. Now, like I said, when you're done with your contract, you got to pay out your manager, your agency, hair and makeup, styling, all that stuff, but not to keep something on the side. Even if when you're married to your husband, have a little side account open so when you do have extra cash, you could put it away for when situations like this arouse, you have the money. Wow, she said she had to borrow money from family and friends to make some of their kids stay in private school and can keep participating in their extracurricular activities. So it's one of those kids, you have what? You have soccer practice, you have music practice, you go to dance school, sports practice, so it's one of those kids that look like they go in every kind of activity. Says in her motion, Khadijah claims her ex pulls in over 18,000 in disability and NFL retirement payments. She said she was the one who cared for him after he injured himself while playing. When the love goes to hate to despise, right? Despisement. So he gets 18,000 a month. She asked the court to award her 5,000 a month in child support and another 2,000 a month in spousal support, along with 100,000 for her legal fees. The court has yet to rule. So we'll keep an update on this, but yes, I'm sorry. Not because you married a rich man and you were living life comfortably, eating out all the time and you didn't have to worry about bills. No, when reality sets in, she should have had a bank account on the side, putting money in there and not trying to live above her means. Now that it's no longer that way, now she's going to friends and family for money. I wonder how much Chloe loan or give, right? I wonder how much Chloe is helping. Now, her sister is Malika. She has a son with can't remember who the rapper is, but someone in the comments said whining about struggling to keep your kids in private school is hilarious. Shut up. I'm telling you, some of these people, they don't learn. When they go on social media to air their dirty laundry or court, right? So this is a document that is public. Anyone can go pull it up. Then people are going to see it. And when they see what you're complaining about, people are going to be like, nah, step down. If you're living in a house where your mortgage payment is 50,000 a month, go get something cheaper. You know what I'm saying? Just situations like that. No, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-mm. So we have another sad death to report, and this is actor Tim Curry. He was 80 years old. Now, Tim has been struggling since he had a major stroke in 2012. And as you can see from the thumbnail, he was now in a wheelchair needing help, because when I say major, it was major. So he also died yesterday, but of course, with Dolly Parton dying on the same day, it overshadowed his death. And I didn't see his death post yesterday. They just posted it today, so I'm guessing they wanted the Dolly one to kind of die down ish. And I said die down ish because Dolly, no one is dialing down on Dolly. Every day there's something that comes out about Dolly Parton, and just by everyone, she was not problematic, right? We didn't see any scandal, anything with Dolly Parton. She was a lover of people. Like I said, she, been married to her husband for over 60 years. He died last year. They had no children. And she gave an interview saying that God didn't give her children because the world needed a mother, or the children of the world needed a mother. And such a sweet lady. Everything what everyone had to say. But, back to Tim Curry. So he died yesterday. They did not mention it. Like I said, Dolly, who knows? But it says Tim Curry, star of Rocky Horror Picture Show and Clue, dead at 80. It says Tim Curry, the English actor who became a massively popular cult figure thanks to his performance in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Clue, and TV miniseries It, has died. He was 80. Curry passed away peacefully at his home in Toluca Lake, Los Angeles on Tuesday, according to a statement shared by publicist Sean Katz on behalf of Curry's longtime manager and friend, Marcia Hurwitz. And this is what they said. They said, though widely known for his imitatable, flamboyant characters and colorful stage performance, His greatest legacy to those who knew him were his curious, expansive mind and generous, gentle heart, both of which remained open and filled with anticipation until his final breath, the statement read. Police responded to a death investigation for a male in his 80s at an address in Los Angeles at 11:20 p.m. Tuesday night. Okay, so it was okay cuz Dolly was earlier during the day, like around noontime, but he was almost this morning, Wednesday, right? It says the Los Angeles Police Department said the Los Angeles Fire Department also confirmed that emergency personnel attended a medical event at the same address Tuesday night at 10:42 p.m. for an adult male who was pronounced dead. So what? The police got there at 11:20 p.m. and then a medical team was there earlier at 10:42 and pronounced him dead. So I'm guessing he was pronounced dead at 10:42, but then the police to go and get clarification or questions, they went at 11:20. It said an immediate cause of death was unclear. In 2012, Curry suffered a major stroke and had been dealing with health problems in the years since. So, rest in peace to Tim Curry. He was also in the Scary Movie franchise. I don't know if he did one or two, but yes, he was big. Can I say something? I did not know he was British. And he was born Timothy James Curry on April 19th, 1946 in, Grappenhall, England, about 30 miles inland from Liverpool. It also said his father also suffered a stroke, and he was 12 when his father died. And it says an event that left him shaken. So the father suffered a stroke, and years later, he did. Can I confess something? I am terrified of dying of a stroke. My father personally died of a stroke, and my father was a drinker and a smoker. So people will say, "Oh yeah, well that's a part of it." But still, I myself, I don't drink, I don't smoke. But hello to the one person. Say hello. Let me see who's speaking. Say hello. Anyways, yeah, so that's my personal fear. Even though I don't drink or smoke, I've been told I'm obese. When you see me, I'm not. For me, but when they tell you your height and weight, these people make people go crazy talking about obesity. I mean, I don't need two seats in no plane or anything like that. Obesity, my ass. Anyway, so shout out to Tim Curry, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about this father. We're hearing a lot more of people, black people especially, being found unalive hanging from trees or wherever they're hanging from. Now this death, I think, is probably what, the second for the last week or two. And it's just sad. It's sad what's going on. And a lot of people will say, since Donald Trump has been in office, these racists, these haters are more daring. They don't care anymore. They don't care if they're seen and lose their job or whatever, because guess what? That happens to them. All they have to do is do a GoFundMe, and their fellow racist people will give them money to keep living. So for some people, I think it doesn't affect them. They don't care. Just like the lady who was in a park, and she said something to a black child, and at the end of the day she lost her job. But guess what? GoFundMe came up with a lot of money, and this lady was able to live from that money. Now, could she live from it forever? She could, if she knows how to spend it, how to use it wisely, right? But I think GoFundMe now, I don't know if they're going to start something that they will not collect money for people who cause harm to people, or like hatred, or um against gay people, black people. Like they're saying they won't. I'm going to use the word allegedly because that's what I heard, that they don't want to give people that platform to make money after the wrong that they did, if you get what I'm saying. So we're going to read this quick article. It says black father of 9 found hanging in North Carolina as police say everything is on the table. Let's go down there, and you see his pictures on the banner, right? It says authorities have not determined a manner of death for Demetrius Fleming, 38, and are cautioning against speculation as the investigation continues. Behind an investigation that has consumed local conversation is a man whose family remembers him primarily for music, faith, and his children. North Carolina man Demetrius Eugene Fleming, 38, was found Friday at home on Roanoke Avenue in Roanoke Rapids from a hanging, WRAL reported. Police Chief Lawrence Wiggins said Fleming had already died when emergency crew arrived. Investigators have not disclosed what type of ligature was used. Wiggins has been deliberate about how the department characterizes the case, describing it as an open and what's this? Equivocal death investigation, meaning no manner of death has been determined or excluded. We're not working from any strict assumption, he told WRAL. Everything is on the table. He cautioned against treating early speculation as established fact, noting the investigation remained in its infancy and that evidence rather than conjecture will produce the conclusion. The chief said the 911 call reporting an attempted S came from someone not present at the scene but close to Fleming. He declined to discuss further details of Fleming's personal life, explaining that the department prefers to gather evidence before offering anything that might shape public perception prematurely. So yeah, this is not good. It goes on to say the caution matters in a community where a black man found hanging carries historical weight no official statement erases, and where families have too often watched similar cases receive brief examination before closure. WRAL noted that a separate hanging death in downtown Raleigh last weekend was ruled a suicide. So, you hear a lot of people saying, oh, black people, they don't hang themselves. If they're going to unalive themselves, it's either with DRUGS or SHOT to the head, but not by hanging. Why, And it says that he was the father of 9 children, and according to his family, he spoke about them constantly and with visible pride. He is survived by his wife, Dorisha Aries Fleming, his parents, Kim and Richard Fleming, and 7 siblings who remember his warmth. Services will be held at H.D. Pope Funeral Home, with the family requesting donations to the American Cancer Society in lieu of flowers. So I wonder who's battling cancer in the family for them to want the donation to go there. Now, conspiracy theorists could say he had cancer, it was a death sentence, there was no cure, they tried everything. Basically, they sent him home to die, and he's like, you know what, I don't want to do that, so let me unalive myself. It's just, it opens more speculation when people say they're donating to an organization, and this is to the American Cancer Society. So instead of sending flowers, they're asking for donation. It's the same with Dolly Parton. She's saying instead of spending money on flowers, donate to her book program. But of course, people are not gonna listen, and people grieve and mourn how they want to. These are just suggestion when these people are telling you to donate. Because when you go and look on any site for Dolly Parton, her walk on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, anything that has her banner on it, Dollywood, she has a theme park called Dollywood, all you see is flowers. So, of course, that is going to happen. So, let me see. Somebody's calling. Okay, I just declined the call because I don't know why they are interrupting my time with you. So, yes, this is something that has to be investigated. Too many too many of these stories of black people being found hanging and just written off as the S word. YouTube needs to get with the program. These are serious topics that we should be able to say the words because of how serious it is. Now, we did our Kim Kardashian, Khadijah, Tim Curry, and Demetrius. So we're gonna go to the actress Soraya. Now, Soraya, she is non-problematic. She does her acting, she does her work when she needs to work. So for her to take to social media to call off her engagement to her fiance for cheating, and remember they just had a baby. They had a baby probably what 5 6 months ago, and she went on social media and was talking about it. And I'm like, no, not her. She's not one of those who run to social media for attention. But I guess she just couldn't keep it locked up anymore. She just had to say it. And she's hurt. Sometimes when you're hurt, you take steps that some might not see as fitting. But we can't tell people how to grieve, how to heal. We can't do any of that. So it says Soraya ends Joey Badass engagement. Now his name is Joey Badass. I don't know who this person is. I guess he's a rapper or a sport person because unfortunately when it comes to black actress in Hollywood, the baby daddy is either a music artist, mostly a rapper, or a sports person. Have mercy. Just like what? A week or two ago, we reported Coco Jones. She married I think a basketball player, and that same week, Jordan Woods, she married a basketball player. So yes, in Hollywood, when it comes to these black actresses, instead of lawyers and doctors and engineers, it's always someone in entertainment, rapping, or in sports. So she accuses him of cheating and says, "Thank you, next." That's like the Ariana Grande song, right? Thank you, next. I'm so grateful for my ex. Anyways, so we're just gonna read this quick story. We're not gonna go all full in, but it says Soraya has ended her engagement to Joey Badass and is accusing her ex fiance of repeated infidelity. The actress 31 shared her painful truth about her difficult decision. Let's read that again. The actress 31 shared her painful truth about her difficult decision to call it quits with the father of her child in a lengthy statement via Instagram on Monday. There comes a point in a woman's life when choosing yourself is no longer an option. It becomes necessary, the Empire alum, born Soraya Renee McNeil, told her followers. I loved deeply, believed wholeheartedly in the life we were built in, and wanted nothing more than to protect our family. Sorry, guys. Let's continue. No, I'm gonna go crazy. The same thing that happened with Chloe, with Khadijah, just kicked me off. I need to have my laptop look at. I have someone that I can contact and see. I think he charges like what, $75 an hour. Gossipers, tell me if that's a lot of money just to go, go through your laptop for any virus and stuff. Okay, so it says, however, she alleged, unfortunately, there had been repeated infidelity throughout our relationship, including during some of the most vulnerable and meaningful moments of my life, which to me seems like when she was pregnant, he was cheating during that. Even after giving birth to their child, he was cheating, right? She said, I share this not for sympathy, retaliation, or to publicly tear anyone down, Soraya continued. I share it because too many women are taught to question themselves before they question what is happening right in front of them. If your intuition is telling you something is wrong, listen to it. So, wasn't it telling her it was wrong before she got pregnant? Because right now, I'm guess she's sitting back saying, how did I not see this? I knew something was up, but then she advised, don't make yourself smaller to keep someone else comfortable. Don't compromise your values because you're afraid of losing the future you imagine. And don't allow someone else's choices to become a referendum on your worth. Love should not require you to abandon yourself. And a child is in the mix. Says the social media upload concluded with a reference to the former couple's beautiful 1 year old son, whose name they have yet to reveal. And she says, my priority will be protecting his peace, privacy, and relationship with both of his parents, Soraya wrote. For that reason, I won't be discussing the intimate details of our relationship publicly beyond what I have shared here. This chapter did not end the way I prayed it would, but endings can also be beginnings. Now, you put it out there that he's a cheater, pumpkin eater. So if people are asking questions on who was it with, why, how long have you known, how many girls, then you can't judge people for asking because you put it out there. And that's what, drives me crazy sometimes about these celebrities is when people are giving their opinions, they get upset and like, who cares? Nobody this, no. Well, the story's out there. The story's out there. And if people are putting out stories that you didn't approve of or didn't do, then go after them. Go after people who are putting stories out there. But then some of them don't want to. Why? Because it keeps them relevant. It keeps them in the spotlight. It keeps them on social media. So she can say all this that she wants to keep the rest of it private because it's personal. There's a child. But no, you open the door for people to talk, to give their criticism, because you did let us know that it is infidelity. And it doesn't sound like one, it doesn't sound like two, it sounds like multiple infidelities. So, good luck to them, and hopefully it's a amicable exchange when it comes to their child. They were engaged. She called off the engagement. I would like to think she would not go back to him. This wasn't just a one and done for you to say, let's go to therapy, seek counseling. If it's more than two people, I would not even go to therapy for that. I would not. I would not. And then, sometimes your wonder is like, during her pregnancy, wasn't she freaky enough? Because for some pregnant ladies, they're very freaky. They just want the sex, sex, sex. And sometimes they say it helps with, when it's time for the baby to come to get you into contraction. And then for some, it's like, oh, don't touch me. I don't feel beautiful. I think I'm fat. I'm this and that. So don't touch me. And, probably for him, he has a high sex drive. Probably they were sexing all the time. But here comes baby. The hormones changing. Um, you know, um, emotions change, and he wanted to bang bang. Maybe she didn't. I'm just saying, there's a number of reasons, but I even hear people say that no, you can truly love someone, but when you're addicted to something, then it's the addiction, and it's like, okay, you love me, you want to be with me, but then you're addicted to sex with other people. No, that can't work. Unless your partner is for that, God bless you. Hopefully it works. But other than that, heck no. So, gossipers, we're going to close out with Dolly Parton, right? She died yesterday, and they did confirm that it was from cancer. Now, we don't know how long she was battling the cancer, but just by listening, I don't think it was a long time. You know what I'm saying? Because she had upcoming engagements and she kept canceling. And that's when people were asking more about what's going on with Dolly. So, again, she passed away yesterday at 80, surrounded by family and friends. So it's something they knew was coming. So she was able to put all the measures in place so there's nobody feuding over money, how she should be buried, this and that. And I think she wants to have a private ceremony, which of course she would have had, but she doesn't want anything public. So we're just going to close out with this story. It says that Dolly Parton feared family feuds over estimated $650 million fortune before her death at 80. So, yeah, as I said, she's not problematic. The black community, I realize, the African American community, they love their Dolly Parton. They love their Dolly Parton. And you hear a lot of African Americans who are saying, if more white people were like Dolly Parton, this world would be such a better place, or this America would be such a better place. So it says Dolly Parton has reportedly moved to organize the distribution of her $650 million fortune in advance to prevent potential family conflicts after her passing. Sources suggest Dolly has taken these steps following recent health issues and because she and her late husband, Carl Dean, who died in 2025, never had children during their marriage. An insider claimed that Dolly had been proactively managing her estate planning and aims to eliminate any possibility, of legal battles over her health. The source explained she's a very pragmatic person, and the last thing she wants is to leave any sort of mess for her family to deal with. Her worst nightmare is that the people she loves could end up fighting over her estate, so it's crucial to her that she gets every little thing decided in advance and leaves no room for questions or lawsuit. It comes after a petition to name Nashville Airport after Dolly Parton surged following her death. So, as we know, Donald Trump, he ordered flags to be lowered across the U.S. for Dolly Parton, and I was told it for a week. I didn't know they could keep it that long for a week. Usually, I thought it was for the day, right? But no, for Dolly, it's going to be a week. I know the Empire State Building in New York around 9:25 yesterday. They lit the top of the Empire State Building in pink to celebrate Dolly. It says the insider commended the star for her approach, telling the National Enquirer, oh shoot, I said National Enquirer. I don't know if they're still around, but this is a National Examiner. Dolly wants to dot every I and cross every T herself. She's got very clear ideas about how she wants it all to go. They further explained that because Dolly and Carl had no children throughout their 60-year marriage, there are a ton of decisions that need to be made. There are so many charities she wanted to support, along with hundreds of people in her circle of family and friends that she wanted to take care of. And just judging by past interviews with Dolly, she was a kind person. So, she knows how to break it down, and I'm so happy that she was able to write something down, get it notarized, or however they do it, where we're not hearing stories from now that this aunt, this niece, this uncle, this person is saying they weren't look after for Dolly, right? She donated a lot of money to a lot of organization, and like I said, she has her own reading organization or charity. And the video that I did previously, I did mention the name of it. Let me see if I can mention it now that we're closing out. Dolly Parton Reading Charity or Reading Program. Our fund. Oh, it's a foundation. Oh, it's called Imagination Library. So it's called Imagination Library for Dolly Parton. So, gossipers, we're done with our live chat. What are your thoughts on the stories? Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, their daughter North. Is she growing too fast? Khadijah, expecting to continuing living a lifestyle now that she's getting a divorce from her husband and says she needs help to keep up to said lifestyle. Tim Curry, actor, stage actor, dead at the age of 80. Sarai and her baby daddy, something badass, going their separate ways, or she called off the engagement because he was a cheater, pumpkin eater. Dolly Parton, putting in words so family and friends are not fighting over a estate. And of course, Demetrius Fleming found hanging from a tree. What's going on in America? Before I came on here, there was a country where a landslide was done. And I was like, just seeing the videos, it's just so sad what's going on in the world, right? And I don't know if you heard this story, mostly in the US, that people are saying that there's no beef. What they're giving us is horse meat. Yes, people are saying there's no beef, they're giving us horse meat. And it's like you just have to be careful, with what's going on in this world. Roadhouse, Texas Roadhouse, the restaurant, they're saying it's not true that their white employees are spitting in the food of black people. And you see these every day and you're like, my gosh, what is the world coming to? Why are black people, African Americans, so hated around the world when everyone loves our culture? They love the music, the food, the dance, everything that is brought to the forefront, but yet still they can't love the person. And then I hate when people generalize. And hate is a word I don't use a lot. I don't like when people generalize everyone, right? But yes, that's it. So gossipers, do you watch Emily in Paris? So it's been confirmed that the sixth season is the final season, and they have a release date for December 24th. So Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve of this year, December 24th, 2026, we will see the last of the series Emily in Paris, fifth and final season. Anyways, gossipers, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I need to start putting up notification when I'm going to go live to give you guys time to see the notification so you could come in and listen with me, chat with me. I had no one in. I had two people, then it went to one and no one. But I know the replay will get people watching. But again, let's grow our little channel. And as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you, gossipers.